And we are going live and we are on air. So, hello, hello, and welcome. This is ParaNormal Psychic Radio Network. And we've got me and Christina. Hello, Miss Christina.
Hi, Solana. How are you?
I'm awesome. How are you doing?
I'm good. You look so pretty.
Oh, so do you, and I love all the crosses in the background.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Me with my Tibetan.
I like you in the background. You look nice. You're nice to look at.
Aw, thank you. Thank you. Because that's not what you were saying a minute ago. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, no, I'm not. I
Huh?
think you're beautiful. I think you're beautiful inside the
I know, with my ruby lips, yes. That was my sister's idea. So, okay, let's blame Angie.
I know you did good. I'd
Right?
take you out.
Yeah.
Hmm
I should go have a keep looking down because, again, I'm checking out the over here. Oh, I got to mute it. Hang on a second. There, we're muted over there. Just to see, make sure that if there's anyone in that chat room, to let them know that we're over here on Google Hangouts recording, and so they can go join our group on Facebook, the Paranormal Psychic Network, and you'll get the links to be able to come in to join us in the live chat room. And come early because we can only have 10 live videos going in this chat room. Unless everyone goes off video, then we can have up to 150. Isn't that crazy? Um, yeah, if you guys could turn your cams off, that would be awesome. That way that more people can join, supposedly. We'll see how it goes, huh? But they do have to go over to the network there and join us in order to be able to come into the live, unless we give you the link. Otherwise, you can be by yourself over there on YouTube watching. But so anyway, we thought we'd do a promptive show tonight, simply because we can. Because we like to talk and chat, and sometimes we just think it's funny as heck if we can just get it all on recording. So we thought we'd make tonight one of those nights and just talk about the odds and ends of this lifetime and everything that we're all going through, and having to endure. And it's just odd to me, the things that we're going through, and then how people are acting. That's one thing that got me going on this conversation with Christina, is because you have all this stuff going on in the background. As far as our life goes, right? Where, all these things are happening around the world and even in the United States now. But you go outside and there's people gardening. There's people still riding their bike, acting like nothing's. I find that odd. Don't you find that odd, Christina?
You broke up. What was odd?
Oh.
I'm on it. What?
Oh, I was just saying it's odd how, all the stuff's going on around the world, and there's people still outside gardening and riding bikes and, doing their day-to-day stuff. It's just odd how we operate, even in times of, I don't know, we can call this wartime.
Well, it kind of is, but you know what? The world is in unrest right now, but life goes on, Solana. It's kind of like, we just kind of keep meandering through and doing our thing, and kind of what I'm doing now. And here, probably, we're all hunkering in because we have some serious snow, but where you live, they have the freedom of being able to still enjoy the weather and get out and breathe and maybe not be stuck in the house watching the news or hearing the radio and all the bad news that's going on today. So go outside, breathe deep, do some work, do some house, yard work, do some lawn work, whatever. Just try to stay away from all the negativity that's going on the TV and the radio. And that's probably what they're doing too. Think about that.
Oh yeah, well I know, but that's the odd part to me, is because even though all these things are going on, and it's happening in California, and I mean it's hitting home, and
Yeah.
people are still just going off, and I think it's a coping mechanism, because we've had to really, if you think about it, all the odd stuff that we've been through pretty much all of our life. Was
No, I think we're kind of desensitizing ourselves to a lot of this stuff that's going on too, negativity. I have to tell you this if you got a second, I got a story. With the what do you call social media today, people are all over that happened in San Bernardino and the gun laws and our president and all this stuff, this negativity, right? And so, Mary, my wife, she put on Facebook a little rant about how, we need to protect our rights, Second Amendment, gun laws. What happened in San Bernardino was such an abomination, and it's a sad thing. And she wrote this rant, not meaning anything by it. Social media, we're supposed to be able to do that, right?
Right.
And so Mary lost a supposedly personal friend over that because she said that it was, who, I'll tell you who it was later, but she said that it was upsetting, and that she was sick and tired of seeing so much negativity on the social media. Everything is about the Muslims, everything is about guns, and she was so tired of it, and she thought what Mary was writing was fear-based when it really wasn't. And so she apologized and says, "I have to delete you and have a wonderful life. See you later." But that's the thing, though. People are desensitizing themselves from it. They don't want to see it. They don't want to hear it. They're turning the other cheek. They don't want to believe it. They're not living in reality. A lot of people aren't. But this shit's going on.
Right. Well, and that's the odd part. We need to know. That's to be informed doesn't mean, and like, of course, so many people are stuck on, the lesson thing, and they think that if you talk about something that you're feeding it energy, right? Well, it's about the perception and the perspective and the intention behind the talk. I mean, I can talk about things, but I certainly do not give into fears and do not live my life in fear. But at the same time, I'm a realist. I'm.
Yes.
What's that?
That's the word.
Yeah, a realist.
We have to confront it and know that it's going on. We can't put our heads in the sand.
Right,
God didn't make us, peacocks, whatever the hell that bird is that sticks its head in the ground. We don't do that.
What is that bird?
Right?
You're gonna have me stick on it, but yeah. I said, what is that bird?
For a second.
Uh-oh. No, I said, what is that bird? But yeah, they stick their head in the dirt, and then life goes by.
Chris,
I understand the whole.
Me? Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Yes or no on the chat?
I hear you. You can't hear me? Can y'all hear me? Can I be? I can see me. Can y'all hear me? Yeah, ostrich. Yeah. Yes.
That's Chris. Thank you. Oh, those are cool.
But can you hear me, Christina?
Solana doesn't. You guys, Solana.
Uh-oh. Why can't you hear me, Miss Chris? I hear you. You can't hear me at all, Christina? Everyone else can hear me. Yeah, they can hear both of us. Sometimes we cut in and out.
I can't hear it all. So I'm leave and come.
Uh-oh. Now she's going to leave me. But you're right, Rebecca, the straw that broke the camel's back. It may not have been anything to do with Mary. But, as a lot of people, again, though, if we just sit around and think everything's all rainbows and butterflies, then, we stay oblivious, I feel. And I don't want to be oblivious. I want to know what's going on. And I want to be able to talk about it and have conversation without offending anyone. Without hurting feelings or without, boundaries being crossed because we're talking about an event that's taking place. It's not that it's not happening, right? I mean, it's happening regardless if we're talking about it or not. And so I don't think that feeding it gives it any more energy because my intention is not to feed it. My intention is to be aware so that we, again, can make reasonable, responsible decisions for our day-to-day life. I've got people calling me up asking, should they go buy a gun? People who've never thought about owning a gun before are thinking about owning a gun now. And it's because they're in fear. I personally don't own a gun. And I'm not going to go buy a gun because I personally, I used to shoot them when I was younger. I used to go hunting. I can shoot a gun. But I personally don't want to own one. But that's, because I'm dealing with and coping with it in another way. It's not fear-based. So I think if you're going to, put yourself in a position to have a firearm, you should certainly do your research, do your, your background, make sure you understand what you're getting into. Can you hear me now, Miss Christina?
I came back to my phone.
Oh, okay. Because I could hear you the whole time.
Yeah.
And everyone else could hear both of us.
Yeah, we should be okay as long as I have my phone. It's my computer, like I said, I'm having issues, so no biggie.
Okay.
So where were we at? You're talking about gun control?
Well, no, we're just saying, that a lot of the people who do stuff like that, like happened with Mary, it's like Rebecca saying it might just have been the camel that broke the straw that broke the camel's back that day. And so we're just talking about, how people are fear-based. We should be able to have a conversation about what's going on without feeding the fear.
Exactly.
I don't believe that talking about a situation feeds the situation any energy, because that's not my intention. My intention is to be aware, and to be real with what's happening in the world today. I'm not going to stick my head in the sand. I'm going to talk about it. Mary should be able to talk about whatever she wants to. It's her Facebook page, and the other person has every right to leave. That's their, their free will as well. But, not just to be fear-based. And I said a lot of times people are getting guns today. I get calls all the time now saying, should I go buy a gun? But they're only asking out of fear. You know what I mean? And that's not a good place to start.
Don't buy a gun out of fear. Buy a gun out of common sense that, you want to go down in a blaze of glory if you're going to go down. That's why we have guns. We want to be able to protect ourselves, our neighbors, our home. And it's got nothing to do with it's common sense. So, yeah, if you're going to use your common sense, buy guns. If you're scared, you want to hunker down a corner holding your gun up, then don't buy a gun.
Right.
A little dangerous. First, everybody that knocks on the door, you're going to want to shoot them. No, don't live in that kind of fear. Because the odds of anything happening are null to nil. But the thing about it is, they may pass a law where the common citizen cannot own a gun. You won't be able to buy.
I don't agree with that at all.
If you get to the point where you can't buy guns anymore, you better have a few guns stockpiled.
It's not going to matter. If you can't buy one legally, then there's going to be the black market. That's going to be in existence.
They're really expensive.
You'll find one.
Why pay?
Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
$1 for a handgun in the black market when you can go and pay $175 for a handgun at the gun.
I meant if they make it illegal to buy guns, if they have gun control and take away the guns, good luck, by the way. That's all I gotta say. If you try taking away my friends' guns, they're gonna go out with a blaze of glory. They're not gonna be controlled like that. It's a First Amendment right to own and bear arms, to defend. Second Amendment, yeah.
You're right, and we do. And I'm a huge gun advocate. I'm all about NRA and all that. I've been all my life. I grew up with guns. My dad's a gun dealer, a knife maker, and been to gun shows since I can remember. My son grew up with guns and gun shows, and we have a huge love and respect for guns. Mm-hmm. Solana was here for over a month, and I don't think she ever saw not near one gun, but yet I have an arsenal in my home. Mm-hmm. And I have a respect for them. Why would I bring them out? Why would I use them? There's no sense in it, right?
Right.
Well, you didn't see my guns while you were here.
No.
Because I have a huge respect for them. They're put away nice and neat and tucked, and that's where they're at until someday, God forbid, I may need them.
Right. Mary keeps hers on her.
Oh, well, Mary hers 24/7, but legally we can't hear them in this state. Mm-hmm. Mary believes in protecting, our neighbors and friends and the person in front of her at the bank if something happened. Mary's huge about that. It's all about protection with her. She has peace of mind knowing that if she's at the bank and a robber comes in and he points a gun at the girl in front of her and he's going to shoot her, Mary will take him down before he shoots her.
Right.
And that's Mary's mentality. Mm-hmm. She's a warrior. She truly is.
She is. That's why if anything happens, I know where I'm going. I'm batting down the hatches here, and we're taking off. We're out.
Exactly.
But don't do it on fear, though. Do you know how many crazy things get done because people operate in fear?
Fear.
I mean, they do things that they otherwise wouldn't do. That's what fear is, a motivator. And the powers that be that want to keep you in whatever. I can't, I'm just still trying to figure out their freaking agenda. But for the main part of it, it's all about control, and it's all about keeping you in fear. And so if we start operating in that fear and making choices based on that fear, it only hurts us.
Well,
and then they get fed that energy regardless of what we do.
It does, and you're right. And fear has been one of the most powerful tools since the beginning of time. It's been the most powerful weapon. Fear is more powerful than all the atom bombs put together because fear keeps you suppressed and keeps you in a place where you're more submissive to the people, the fear mongers, the people creating the fear. Look at in the beginning of religion, Catholicism and other religions, they made up a whole bunch of crap so that we fear hell, we fear Satan, we fear this, we fear that, because they wanted to suppress us and have a hold on us, and they want us to live in fear. So we're more submissive to the church or the religion, whether it's Mormon, Catholicism, or whatever it may be. Fear-based. Churches are fear-based. I don't care what you people say. You can hate mail me all day long, but they're fear-based. I'm Catholic till the day I die, and I'm proud of the fact that I'm Catholic. But it is fear-based.
Mm-hmm. It really is. I mean, come on. You're going to be, burning in hell and damnation if you don't follow suit. Yeah. And let's just start there, and then everything else follows line. And that's what we've been dealing with for so many generations now. It's like, anytime anybody comes in, oh, the world's going to end. I'm like, really? I've been hearing that my whole life. Is it really, let it, well, and if it ends, poof, we gone. What are you going to do?
All these fear mongers, what was it last year, December or November 13th or something, the world was going to end, and these people there was dozens of people selling all their worldly goods, and they really truly thought the world was going to end. They were living in horrible fear, and just, it was awful. They interviewed some of them online, and it was like,
every year, Christina, every year there's a date set.
But what cracked me up was the guy the one that ran the church or whatever it was that said there was going to be the world was going to end on this day for these parishioners to sell everything and pretty much live like mongers or whatever. But anyway, after it didn't happen, some of them sued him
because he got their stuff.
Everything they got rid of their house. They bankrupted their cars. They gave their cars back, and it was horrible. And then we're still here, and it's 14th.
Exactly. Exactly. But every year, I got asked. Somebody asked me earlier this year if December 6th. I think it was December 6th. I think that was the date. There's been so many dates. If I heard anything about something that was gonna be it, I'm like, stop. I hear it every year. I don't even during 2012 I was telling people, chill. You're gonna be up to 22nd and gonna be sad because
people were panicking.
I know they do.
They were going pyramided droves waiting for the world to end. It's like, really, people?
Well, yeah, and some people don't even wait. It's like with the Heaven's Gate group. Remember them back in was it the 1990s? I think it was a Heaven's Gate group where Halley's Comet was coming, and they were just for show that was it. It was going to blow up the planet. And so they killed themselves. They all had Nike shoes, Nike tennis shoes, and they all cyanide. They all killed themselves. We were still here the next day. That's just odd to me. To give myself to anybody but God, first of all. I don't give anybody control over my life. I can't even imagine just being so enamored with someone that I'm going to follow them to my death, that I'm going to bring on myself. I don't think so.
Yeah. Is that crazy?
That's just odd to me. That's beyond. That's beyond. That's why I don't go to church, though. Because I don't want to have to follow line and do these things. I'm like, no, I don't have time for that.
I don't either, and I'm like this. If it happens, it happens. I don't care.
Exactly. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do if the world were to blow up tonight? It's 8:20 here. If at 11:30, let's time it. 10 minutes. We got 10 minutes to live. The world's gonna blow up, and for sure, the world's gonna blow up. What are you gonna do?
I'm going out making love, baby.
You're making love, and I'm baking cake. I'm baking cake. I can make little muffins and make them done in 10 minutes. I'll be eating cake on my way out.
Gonna be doing something we like to do.
I mean, really. And Rebecca saying, if you read the Bible, it says Jesus doesn't know when the end will be. So how is everyone else? Yes, it also says that God said that no man shall know the day or time. No man will know the day or time. And that's of your demise as well as the demise of the planet. We
I
don't know how long we got. My little granddaughter passed away at 2 years old. We didn't know she was going to pass away at 2 years old.
no.
But I've had someone, my oldest aunt in my family right now is 93.
Yeah.
You know,
I look at it
I
like
mean,
this. God
really.
doesn't really know either, unless he's having a really bad day and he pushes the button. He knows
You
what's
think
going on.
there's a button?
I don't know. Just make believe like that. Okay, I'm over you guys. I was just kidding. JK, boom. I don't know.
Right?
I'm over this now. Let's start something else.
Yep. I'm done. The cleansing, because again, he's done it before. He didn't push a button, but he flooded the world.
There you go.
And so, or he made the ice age.
Yeah.
Things have happened already on this planet, like that. Over and over, so many times. This planet has been washed away, and a new civilization started anew. I mean, one of the oddest investigations that we didn't even really get into, that Christina and I did, was looking into the Anunnaki.
And a Nazi, yeah.
Oh my God, that was the oddest, freakiest, most intense stuff that we did, and we didn't even go there because everything that happened on this planet is still residually here, and it's still here,
And
and so. Mhm.
all linked to the Anunnakis too. Everything that's ever happened on this earth links back
It
to
does,
the Anunnakis. That's weird.
because they say that's when they brought in the magic. The Anunnakis were the ones that brought in the magic because they brought their gods here. They came in through portals themselves. But when we were, trying to connect with them, just the experiences that we started having in our life.
Weird
I mean,
thing.
Christina, myself, the other lady, I mean, even our team just kind of blew up. There was no team after we
Weird.
started connecting to the Anunnaki. It was just like everything went downhill. And then personal things started happening. I mean, it was just the oddest energetic thing. And then nobody really even knows about the Anunnaki. I mean, you might have heard about the Blanco Pueblo, or the ruins that are still in New Mexico.
Cave
Um,
dwellers in the rocks
yes,
and the
the cave
mountains.
dwellers, because they were the ones that were considered to be the cave dwellers, the Anunnaki. But it was just so odd because when we connected to that and cleared that, because we were eventually able to go, myself, Brian, and Christina, were able to go clear it. But when we got on that first phone call and started connecting with them, we connected with a portal. That was just crazy. All these noises started happening, and you could just feel the oppression that was around that situation. And that is just so reflective of what we still go through. Every time there's a war, anytime that there's, something that's happening across the world, or you see a picture of a baby that's starving, or, skin and bones, just almost on their death, all these things affect you energetically. They affect us. And that is what feeds the energy. That's what feeds the energy play, the fear, um, those beings that need to be fed. That's what feeds them.
Dark
You know?
people, shadow people.
Yeah. Shadow people. Yep. Um,
There's a whole
refresh-
army of them that are here to feed off our negative energy. The skyfish, same thing.
right. Well, I think they're all part of it.
They're all part of the Anunnaki and all that, because it's all, like I said, when we read and we started really getting deep, everything connected. Even the scarabs and the pyramid times and the big cats and it all is connected. The Anunnakis have these big cat totems that are there's four corners of this mountain, and the Anunnakis built 4 cat totems. But these cat totems were very sacred and had powers. This is all real stuff, guys. They had powers, these totems. So they put one around each point, northeast, south, and west. Am I correct?
Mm-hmm. All 4 corners.
Totems, and they had a watcher, a shaman man, to watch these totems, and he would do that till he dies, and he does it even after death. So he started watching these totems, and the totems ended up missing. I think there's one left. Is that right, Solana?
Well, the totems were supposedly all taken, and so they thought that there was one left. But when we went there energetically, we didn't see any totems.
I believe that they call it Illuminatis or whatever have them because they possess very, 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 very powerful. Yeah, and these. Yeah, we could go on forever about the Anunnakis. Maybe we'll do a show on one, but about the Anunnakis. But it's I don't even know where I was going with this, guys. But it's an absolutely crazy situation. This mountain is sacred, and nobody could get near it. What's really weird about the Anunnaki mountain is the Boy Scouts of America own the mountain, and they don't let anybody in.
Yeah, it's called Uraka Mesa.
Use Boy Scouts because it sounds so sacred and so goody two-shoe to hide the truth, what's behind this mountain. My television crew tried to get in to see if we can get in there, and they won't let you talk to anybody. Nobody goes on that mountain. Let me tell you, there's some stuff going on in that mountain.
Just the Boy Scouts, let's be clear. The Boy Scouts are allowed to go.
But not all of them. It's like a sacred...
No, yeah, you have to be high up. You have to be in the ranks to be the ones that go out and be able to go camping and stuff by yourself. Because you have to go camping.
There are a few Solana that have talked and said crazy stuff happened on that mountain.
Yes. There's actually a few books that you can find about the superstition, they call it, of Uraka Mesa. And then there's also stories written by someone who lived in the same area with the because again, this was a cattle ranch before it was donated to by the owners of that cattle ranch to the Boy Scouts. So there's books from the people who lived, because even before the Boy Scouts, got in there were things happening on that property. And in the town, what's the little town that's outside of it? That little town's all haunted as well.
Uraka Mesa, and there's a little town right next to it, but has the most UFO sightings in the world on that little area. It's about 3,000 acre area that has all that, and just crazy stuff happens. I got deathly ill when we were starting to pull some of that energy out of there. I was vomiting and got really sick, so I had to pull away. I finally just quit doing it because things started happening in my life, so I gave in. It wasn't fear, but it wasn't fair for my family for things to start happening to them. But it was a crazy situation. I would love to delve back into it. I would, but I don't know with my family. It's kind of hard.
Well, and we did kind of delve back into it with Brian when we went back in, because my son started connecting to him. Because my son's just like me, I guess you could say, and so he started connecting to him, and the shaman actually started visiting him, and so he was able to connect with us to go back in and release the shaman, and that had to tell you that created even more stuff that happened, more odd shit started happening once we did that.
Yeah, that's what I gave
in. God.
And then the noise. I tell you what, there was a noise that came over the computer, guys, that was, I never heard anything like it other than maybe a toy ray gun, but that's what it sounded like, a ray gun. It was like the weirdest sound, guys. It was not human. It was from another dimension, and we have it on tape. That was crazy, huh, Solana? I don't know what that was. Then I got sick.
Yep, you got sick during that. She actually threw up while we were recording, because again, we were trying to. We couldn't just stop. When you're involved in that kind of intense energy, you can't just stop, or that energy stays with you. So we had to go through the process of closing the connection. And which we did after she started getting sick, because it's like, okay, we can't do that. We can't let that happen. We have to be. I mean, and they will just start attacking everyone in the group. And so that's what happened, So we were able to close it off. And
what was strange about it is they created fear in us, and of course we fought the fear, but because of the fear, and that's what they feed from, is the fear. That's what they create. things started happening in our lives. Solana school started going down. Rumors, devastating rumors. People that were our friends were turning their backs on us and just being vicious and mean, and just, it was not human. It was unbelievable. In my 55 years of life, I've never seen anything like it in my life. And this is when we started delving into that Uraka Mesa stuff with the Anunnaki. And we were doing it for a TV show. But I told my producer, no, we're backing away. I can't do this. I cannot put my family in harm's way. So I was worried for Mary and my family and my son and everybody else. If this is happening to me, why would they not go after anything connected to me? And Solana, they were going after her, and I love Solana to death. So it wasn't worth it. So I pulled away. But they were basically coming after through fear.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they do in this world. They create fear. People say they. Who's they? Well, there are these little entities, but what they do is they put these little bugs and these little nudges in the humans, like the president or the government or the IRS or whatever. It doesn't matter, but they're the ones that's causing a lot of this fear and animosities and anarchy.
Yeah, they're bad dudes. That's putting it lightly, Rebecca.
No,
and it starts young. I gotta say, we deal with children that are 4 or 5 years old, sees them and understand that there's something in their room.
I was 8 years old when I started doing this stuff, because that's what happened to me and Solana.
Mm-hmm.
We were being attacked by shadow people because they were feeding off our fears. Children has virgin fear. What a better thing to come after than the virgin fear, and that's what they did, and they still do today. Kids with chronic illnesses, especially respiratory issues. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of times they'll shadow people coincide with a lot of respiratory issues in these children. I have personally documented and worked many cases with children that had a lot of respiratory issues, and these children, almost all of them would say they have a dark man in their room that comes in and does horrific things to them, scares them, causes fear, stands over them, sucking the life out of them, and they end up being ill a lot. So I go in and I work with these kids and these try to expel these shadow people from their home, which is not an easy task. Solana, you know that. I get attacked.
Yep, you get attacked, and it's repeated. You can't go in once. Typically, it takes going back 2 or 3 times.
Sometimes I've gone back 4 times. This is the most I had to go back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they definitely will embed themselves, we say, infiltrate the situation.
They want
and again, it goes way back. Way back. I mean, if you look at the Anunnaki and look how long ago it was that they were on this planet, was just 1,100 years ago. They were here from, was it 1,100 years ago? Not 1,100. Was it 1,100? I have to do my math real quick.
It was over 1,000 years ago. And some of the things they did, a lot of the things they did, and according to their drawings on their caves, was not human. Right.
The interaction that they had on this planet, the beings that they interacted with, were not human.
It's not human. Getting into the cave was not human. Right. They've already proved some of the dwellings they lived in was theoretically impossible for a human to get into. They did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, archaeologists today can't get up inside to excavate because they can't figure out how to get up in there. They don't know how the beings got up in there, but they teleport. They jump.
They had that. They had that. They had that technology to teleport. That was all taken away from us, but they did have the technology to do that. It kept them safe. It kept them from all the elements and all the other bad things that were going on the Earth.
I wouldn't say it kept them safe, because there was other bad magic that came on this planet too, and they are the ones who infiltrated the Anunnaki. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's so many things. My God, it goes into so many different directions. So many different Indian cultures have different stories. The Hopi refer to the Anunnaki as not like our relatives. Everybody to the Hopi are just like relatives, right? That's their thing. Before we go into a sweat lodge, it's to all my relations. Well, to these guys, they were not claiming any ownership to Anunnaki,
Well, they
because
yeah.
right, but again, but then if you go and look at the Ute, they have different stories about the Anunnaki, because they are the ones who actually went in. The Navajo Nation that you see there today, their ancestors were the Ute, and the Ute are the ones who went in and infiltrated the Anunnaki. So the Ute brought more magic with them also,
Remember
and
they
brought
ate,
all kinds of crazy stuff. They went
but
into cannibalism. Yeah.
why did they eat them? To cause fear, to have the Anunnakis fear them. Is why they ate them, because they know they were eaten, because they've taken DNA from the bones of the Utes, I believe it was, and there's a protein in the bone that shows that there was cannibalism.
Yeah, it can only get there if you eat human flesh.
And another crazy thing about the Anunnakis is some of their drawings on the wall. You guys could Google this, Anunnaki cave drawings. It's crazy. The Anunnakis have drawings of them riding dinosaurs.
Yes, riding like horses. They're riding dinosaurs.
Yeah. I mean,
so that gives you a whole other perspective of dinosaurs as well. I mean, we were taught that dinosaurs are just mean, and Jurassic Park would come and eat you. But they coexisted. They
did, like we do with our horses.
How did they do that? Yeah, if they weren't on under some kind of mental capacity with them, they couldn't coexist with dinosaurs.
No, although they were vegetarians, I believe they were the ones they coexisted with. But yeah, they didn't have any fear or anything towards them. They were riding them, people, and they didn't have Photoshop then. Okay, so what's on that wall? Is on that wall.
They didn't have Photoshop.
How the hell would they know what a dinosaur was? It's a perfect rendition of a dinosaur, the ones that had the long necks that were vegetarians. What were they called? I can't remember the name of them.
Something saurus.
Tyrannosauruses. And that's what they were riding. These things are huge. They're really small. And they had this huge, they were riding on the top of this dinosaur. Like, oh my God, really? It's crazy.
Yeah. And they also had the bird people. They had depictions of bird people on the dwellings, in the cave dwellings, because and I mean feet that look like bird feet, with just the 3 prongs coming out, just like birds and chickens do today, and beak faces. Yeah. And they were not dressed. It wasn't ceremonial.
Yeah, no. They didn't have books and computers to go see what a chicken looked like and a human and a chicken together, and they didn't know. But yet they had them. It's crazy what the things that Anunnaki. Look up Anazi, I believe, right?
Annazi. Anunnaki.
Just put Anunnaki like spell at Google, it'll correct it. But it's crazy, guys, the stories.
Right. And it's just one more thing that leads to the oddity of this planet, though, for me especially. Because if that magic was here then, hello, the magic is here now. And who's in control of that magic? Because I know that the shaman that they held down, I know, the shaman that they were holding down was trying to protect that energy from getting out so that people couldn't misuse it. Exactly. And then he got overtaken by the other energy, and he got bound. And so they took that energy, they took that magic, and they started opening up different portals and vortexes all across this world. All across the planet, this energy was taken and sold to the highest bidder, I might add. Yeah,
literally these totems have been sold, and I can tell you right now, there's some very powerful people on this earth that possess them, and I do believe from my research and from what I've read and just knowing, a few of them belong to some of the most powerful people in the United States.
And I believe it belongs to a certain group. There's not just one man that possesses this.
It's a powerful, powerful group with some powerful names.
Right. Mm-hmm. And we can't go on too much because we don't want to die because we told this information. No, I'm just kidding. I can't tell you. I have to kill you because I'll get killed. I don't know.
Hell yeah, fear.
Right? Fear, yeah. Ooh. But I have to say though, I wouldn't have it any other way. Even though it's odd for me to say that I enjoy those encounters, because it just reaffirms to me that there are so much more going on here than what people even realize. They are just so into their daily grind, that they can't pay any mind or any kind of attention to anything that takes them off of that beaten path. They don't veer off. I always veer off because I've seen all my life a different world going on right beside the one that's happening in front of you.
Mhm.
And so that just confirms to me, every time I find it. And trust me, I hadn't heard about the Anunnaki. I asked to investigate, and which is the way I like it. I like to go in cold.
Yeah.
And so when I first went in and started connecting and really, oh my God, what is this energy? And they started showing up in my house. They started showing up in Christina's house. They started showing up in my son's house. And that's not cool. But and how is it that here we are over 1,000 years later, uh, and that energy is still here?
Yeah. Yep,
That's a
it is.
lot. That's crazy.
I think I really believe, I truly believe, again, with my gut, my intuition, and the research I've done, that a lot of what's happening in this earth today, as far as fear, wars, things like that, it all points to the Anunnaki and the legacies they left behind, as far as the negative energies and some of the things that they possessed and still are on this earth, opening up, like you said, the portals and things. Let me tell you guys, we live in the Matrix. This is not a two-dimensional world or whatever. There's a lot more going on than you can see.
Definitely.
We're not, and I am not a conspiracy theorist. I think they're fucking wacko bullshit people. But
No, we're not.
I know that there's shit that's going on. I know there's stuff that we don't see.
Yeah.
Some of the conspiracy people are a little too far out there. Especially when I hear this stuff like, what happened in San Bernardino never happened. Bullshit.
Never happened.
Two of my clients are 911 operators in San Bernardino and handled those calls.
Yeah, no, I don't. Wow, they're saying it didn't happen.
Come on, people.
Yeah, I heard that it was a false flag operation, but it happened.
It did happen.
But Rebecca in the chat room is asking about these Anunnaki and how they're related, and are they part of the shadow people? Yes. And here's the thing: the shadow guys, they have an agenda, just like every energy has, right? And their agenda is to keep the skyfish safe and fed. When you see a shadow guy, then typically there's some skyfish around, and he's keeping things in check. Fear-wise, because you don't see the skyfish, you see the shadow guy.
Mm-hmm.
You only see the dark shadows, and so they're keeping things in check for the skyfish. If you ever watch the Dead Files with Amy, oh my God, I love Amy. First of all, and I talk about her all the time. She's one of the first mediums that have actually been able to have a forensic drawing of what I've seen my entire life, and that is some shadow guy at the door and about 12 to 24 little baby skyfish on the ceiling feeding off of the dead people in the house and the live people in the house. They feed off of both. That's why they feed off of the ghost and those residual energies that are stuck here. They feed off of that fear because it's all energy. And so that's how they're all related, yes.
You know who has the perfect rendition of what a skyfish is I think it's one of the Star Trek movies, isn't it, where they have that thing going around sucking up the whole
1964. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I see too. And actually NASA has actually got photos of them now, which is really cool. You could Google it. Yeah. But NASA knows they exist, people. There's actually NASA photos of them. But they kind of go around with these tentacles, and they're like sucking this energy everywhere they go. Negativity. Yang, 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 yang. That's what they do. Some are as big as freaking the Empire State Building, and some are as just small as a dime.
Yep. Because they start out little baby, like little starfish, like jellyfish rather. They start out like little jellyfish, and then they grow the more they feed.
Mm-hmm. I know what they look like. The Native American Indians call them skyfish because they see them. I've seen them. Solana's seen them. Many people that are very intuitive or very open and their chakras are wide open have seen them. And any given day, I can go out if I really concentrate, really open up. I'll see them. I don't see them every day or just going out, just my normal day life. No, I don't see them. But if I really, really work on it, I can see what these things
Because
are.
they're there. They're in our skies all the time.
Oh yeah.
And there's hundreds of thousands. There's billions of them.
They love
Billions of
very
them.
populated buildings. If I go to LA, for instance, I can look over these populated buildings and I can see them all over the place. And I don't know if it's because there's so much power going on in these buildings or the people or what it is. I see them in very populated areas more than I would see them in a rural area.
Can you imagine the stress and the oppression going on in those buildings? People that work there and they're under pressure, they're fearful of losing their jobs. Depending on where you live, you're fearful of how high up you are, or having to take the elevator to get there. There's just all kinds of fear that they can feed off of, because everything is energy, and it's that low vibrating fear that feeds them.
Absolutely. And
we go over a lot of that. Yeah, I go over a lot of that in the SOS workshop because, and show the pictures of the 1964 Star Trek show that was in their headline, this big amoeba-looking thing sucking up the air around it. Yeah, the universe around it, the energy around it, the people around it. Yeah.
Whenever there's a tragedy, whether it's like 9/11 or there's a war or a battlefield or even a plane crash or anything like that, you will see if you have these photos like NASA has, these infrared and all these different kinds of photo technology that they have, you will see scores of them around tragedies because they're sucking up all that death and stuff. Ooh, yum! That's like that's a feeding frenzy, like for sharks when there's blood. They're all over. That's what these skyfish do. Oh my God! There's death over there. Woohoo! Anarchy. Let's go.
And you know what though? They actually help instigate that anarchy. There's a movie called Odd Thomas.
Oh, I know.
You can see it on Netflix. And that shows it talks about them. It just shows you how they operate and how they manipulate and how they can control people's thoughts and make them think or say certain things to get a cause and effect going.
Yeah. Odd Thomas.
And it's Odd Thomas, yeah. In the SOS workshop, Rebecca. The SOS workshop. Spirit Offense Session workshop. I need to have another one. I was supposed to have one a weekend ago, but my mom's not been well, so I've been canceling a lot of stuff and just hanging out with Mom. But yeah, so all of these things, though, are what's happening in the world and controlling the energy events that are going on. And nobody sees them. Nobody knows. And trust me, nobody believes us.
I know people watching this right now going, dumbass.
I mean, because people ask me all the time, if you talk, because I could be considered a conspiracy theorist. However, I call myself a realist. Okay.
No, you're not. You're not extreme.
But at the same time, I get called that, and then they ask me, well, if you're such a conspiracy theorist, why are you still alive? And I'm like, it's because you don't believe me. Nobody believes me. Nobody's ever believed me since I'm little, and I'm telling my mom there's a ghost in my room, or I'm telling my dad, you'd better slow down, you're going to get a ticket. He'd still get a ticket. He wouldn't believe me. Nobody believes me. So I'm still alive. So I guess if I disappear one day, somebody started believing me.
Somebody believes. You're not a threat. You're not a near a threat than, there's people out there that's a lot more threatening than you are. Look at George Norrie. I love him. I mean, he opens up a lot of gates.
Oh, speaking of more threats, the other day I was taking Miss Bell's prediction class. She offered it to me, so I was like, I'm sitting in. And so I was sitting there, and we were just predicting things that were going to happen, and I swear to you, I saw the assassination of Donald Trump. And then this morning in the headlines, what did I read? That some liberal group is asking for the assassination of Donald Trump.
That's why he didn't go to, he was going to go to Israel, I think, wasn't it? He canceled it because of death threats.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Could be.
So it could happen, and I'm predicting it here, and I don't want it to. I pray for it not to. I don't like to predict the death of anybody, but I saw his assassination. And then I saw Japan. Something's going to happen with Japan in January. So we have to.
Probably going to be. Are we talking organic, like a storm or earthquake or?
No, we're talking a level of terrorist attack, but not. I mean, it's the energy attacks that have been happening,
Yeah.
the hacking that's going on, the getting into private and personal informations. It's that kind of background hacking kind of situation that's going to happen with Japan. And if you know anything about Japan, you see Japan completely underwater. Oh wow, is that what you see for January or just in general happening? But if you look at Japan, it's a very stable. It's very the economy. Let's just say made in Japan. How long have we been reading that? So it's definitely would be a blow to the system if anything happened to Japan. And you
What?
do, and in the next few years.
My prediction is I would not want to be nowhere near Times Square December 31st. My prediction.
Really?
But anyway, I don't know. I just me and
A
Mary
lot of people
both
were
just have
saying
this.
that for Thanksgiving. They thought something was going to happen during the Thanksgiving Day parade, which thank goodness it didn't. But a lot of people were, because again, when we have predictions like this, it's not like I sit here and go, oh, Donald Trump, I see his assassination. Oh, it's going to happen. No, the future is not set in stone. We can pray
No,
for things and make choices. I don't believe in karma. I
free will.
believe in cause and effect. Right? There's things that we do that cause things to happen. It affects things around us. Energy affects energy. And so when we see predictions, when we have readings, when I do readings for people and they go, oh, I don't like that reading, I'm like, change it. You
You
have the
can.
free will. You can change it. If you choose to do this, then that's what's going to happen. But if you change it and decide to go this route, well, then that's not going to happen. Something else is going to happen. I mean, think about it. It's cause and effect. That's what we have
Oh
to get
yeah,
ourselves in the rhythm of, is cause and effect. Free will, the future always changes. Yes, I
I
agree.
agree.
I believe it. The future's always changing. We can't, even readings that we've done for people and it didn't happen. They're like, that didn't happen. I'm like, well, then you must have done something to change it. Yay, you. You're so powerful. Just think what you could do if you really applied that to every area of your life, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yup.
All right, so and the ending of things, I tell you, the odds and ends of what we're talking about, because again, the ending is never solid. The ending can always be changed.
Hmm.
People need to realize that things are not going to be just one way. That there are so many different energies involved at the task at hand, whatever that may be. And so you have to take into account all of that when we're talking about what we're going to do, how we're going to operate, what kind of energy we're going to allow in our space and what's happening around us. And be very, very mindful, though, of your thoughts. Because if you're having a good day, happy-go-lucky you, then all of a sudden, boom, like a boomerang, you have a bad thought. You don't have to own it. You don't have to keep it. You can let it go and say, that's not my thought. I'm going to move on and have a better day. I'm not going to
Hmm.
hold that in. I mean, I get up every day thinking, I just need to be in a better mood today. I don't care what
Yeah.
happens. I'm going to be okay. I'm going to laugh and smile about it and just have a good day. I'm going to have a good day. It's like that's like I said earlier, it's a coping mechanism because there's so many tragedies and atrocities going on in the world every day, and they're hitting home closer and closer every day here. So it's like, just like with the gardening, you go out and garden, go ride the bike. Who cares if somebody thinks it's odd, especially if you're in Florida, they think it odd if you didn't. So, just be very, very mindful of what's
Yeah,
happening
I
in
agree.
your own head.
Yup, I agree.
Your head. Now that song's gonna go off.
They
All right, so do you ladies in the chat room want to come on and say anything or add to the conversation? The
conversation.
conversation.
You scaredies, come on. We have such a full house tonight. Woo.
You say I'm not scared. I know we don't have to worry about not being on cam because not too many people are in here, so we're good to go. If you want
I'm
to
just
come on,
looking at pictures. I can't say it of the Anon.
Ananasi.
Yeah, have you looked at the pictures on Google? It's crazy.
Yeah.
Gosh.
100 hours of research.
Oh
Oh,
man, I've written 3 papers on the Anunnaki.
Yeah.
oh, it's insane.
Yes, it is. So much of the stuff that that they did, that they left behind, that was unexplained, and the way that so many people want to say that they just disappeared. But we know that they had left due to war. You
They,
know, those that did survive left. They had to skedaddle because
they,
they were under siege.
I believe they ascended. I believe they went back to their little spacey shippies and they left.
A lot of them did.
Because they literally disappeared.
Oh,
Mary's
calling.
They disappeared. Her rolling.
I thought I was on the Ellen show for a second, and I thought presents were going to come up.
Oh, presents. Right? Here come the presents.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not the Ellen show yet. Just Mary calling.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's her ringtone. But anyway, yeah, so much going on with the Anunnaki, and they are definitely a key into our abilities, I think, because they were definitely mastering all of them, and they just got a little cray-cray with it. Things, and the other tribes around them and stuff started getting a little jealous, started wanting what they had, and so that's why they were attacked over and over again. And so it's controversial as far as when they started cannibalism, but I believe they were made to eat one another because they were isolated and locked down, if you will. Trickery, lots of trickery. A lot of people want to say the Anunnaki were the evil ones. No, I don't believe they were the evil ones. They didn't start out that way. They certainly ended that way, though. Oh, Miss Christina left the group chat. Well, I'm going to go ahead and cut it off. Unless you guys want to come on and say anything, but we can hang out. I'm just going to stop the live broadcast, but we can still stay here and hang out in the chat room if you want to chat. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and just cut it down. There's Miss Christina. She got back in. Got back in to say goodbye. I was going to say we can stay in here and chat for a little bit longer. But other than that, I'm going to go ahead and stop the live broadcast and just tell everyone thank you. Appreciate you for coming in. Appreciate you for looking and up the Anunnaki stuff and really just look into what the history really is here and how it was affected and how it affects the tribes that are still here today and why maybe even the white man was allowed to come in. The Spanish were allowed to come in to take over their utopia because it wasn't such a utopia for some people. But anyway, well, thank you, Miss Christina. I always enjoy hanging out and talking with you.
Always fun. Always fun.
Always. And thank you, Rebecca and Chris, for coming in and hanging out with us. And I see we got a couple of viewers on YouTube. So we really appreciate you guys hanging out and coming in and, just chilling. Next time, go in and check us out over at the ParaNormal Psychic Network on Facebook, and you can get the links to come into our private chat room as we record. We are going to be doing some future shows in the about readings and stuff like that in the future, but again, you got to get used to coming into the chat room. We don't take callers, but we will take questions, and you can come on video with us should you have any concerns or questions. Bless you, Mama. Mama sneezed. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close it down, stop the broadcast, and we will see you guys on Sunday with Common Chat with myself and Brian. Till then, night night.
Have a good weekend.